Hey guys, I'm Abby and this is the Literary Scene, and I'm going to be doing the 7 Deadly Sins of Reading tag. I'm not sure who originally created this, but it's been around for a long time now, and I'm sure if you don't already know, it'd be pretty easy to find out. And I'm just going to get started. The first sin is greed, and the questions are, what is your most expensive book and what is your least expensive book? And my most expensive book was a gift. I know that doesn't really count, but I've never really spent more than regular hardback retail price for a book, so it was really the only thing that I had. And it is the DC Vault, which is a museum and a book kind of thing. My husband and I are both really into comics and graphic novels and stuff like that. And this has a lot of original comic drawings and concept art and some signed things and stuff. It's really interesting. It's like a coffee table book, and I think that it originally retailed for $50. And then my least expensive book is The Secret Garden that I picked up at a used bookstore for 15 cents, which was a steal considering this was in like really good condition. And the next sin is wrath, and the question is, what author do you have a love-hate relationship with? And I thought it would be really easy to fall into the reasoning being I really loved some of this author's books and then I really hated some of this author's books, but I thought that was just too obvious of a love-hate relationship. So I picked Cassandra Clare, who is the author of the YA series The Mortal Instruments and The Infernal Devices. And I picked these books up a while ago. I think that City of Ashes had just came out, which is the second book in The Mortal Instruments. And I really loved the books, could not wait to read the next one, and I was really excited to see what she would do next. Then she released The Infernal Devices, which is a prequel series to this, so it's set in the same world. And I really love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it to death, but I still wanted to know, what's she going to do next? You know, where's her writing going to go from here? What other stories could she come up with? And then she did like a second trilogy kind of to this. I think that it was meant to end with this book, but she continued on for 3 more books. And don't get me wrong, still loving the series. I still love it. I love every book. But I'm still wanting to know, what is she going to come up with after the Mortal Instruments, after the Infernal Devices, after the Shadowhunters in general. And I've seen some rumors going around on the internet that she's working on a new series that, ta-da, still has to do with Shadowhunters. And I'm just like, seriously, do something new, because I really want to see, you know, where your writing will go in the future. And I know she's going to be working on a middle grade book with Holly Black, which I love Holly Black, and I'm sure that's going to be great and a fun read, but I want to see something else just by her that does not have to do with Shadowhunters. And the next sin is gluttony. What book have you deliciously devoured over and over with no shame? And that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And I have read this book so many times. It came out, I think it came out in 1999, I'm not positive, but I discovered it in probably when I was a freshman, so that would be about year 2000, so about 13 years ago, and the pages are literally falling out of this book. They're totally not connected to the spine, and this is my second copy, and I've probably read this book about 15 times. When I originally found it way back in high school, I could really connect to Charlie's character, and I just loved it so much, and I could just really relate to this book a lot, so I have read it so many times. And the next sin is sloth, and it is, what book have you neglected to read due to laziness? And that would have to be, I'm surrounded by books here, and I don't know what I've done with that book. Here it is. It is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, and the reason I have not picked it up is because it is massive. I mean, it is so big, probably the biggest book that I own. And I've heard really good things about this book, and I'm really interested in it, but the size of it is just so intimidating to me that I have yet to pick it up. The next sin is pride, and it is which book do you talk about in order to sound intelligent? And I would probably have to say American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, because, or any book by Bret Easton Ellis really, because I feel like his work is, a lot of it's character study. There's really one main character that has so much going on in his books, in their heads, and like what makes them who they are and why they do the things they do, and their motives, and you can just really break his characters down and dissect them kind of, and I think that's really interesting to talk about, which you could pretty much talk about any book where I'm from in the South and sound intelligent, because you just mention books and people are like, what's that? So the next question, or the next sin rather, is, I can't remember, lust. What attribute do you find attractive in a male or female character? I thought this question was kind of hard, because I feel like when I'm reading a book and the story progresses and the character develops, I kind of just either really fall in love with them or I really don't. And I don't think that there is a continuing, like, repeated characteristic in characters that I automatically am drawn to. It's just how their character is written, how they're developed, and, you know, what the plot line is and just what they're doing and everything. But a male character that I really fell in love with recently would probably be Jon Snow from A Game of Thrones. I think his character is just really, really noble and really good, considering what he is. And you just have to read the book and see for yourself. And then the last question, the sin is envy, and the question is, what book would you most like to receive as a gift? And I guess what I'd most like to receive as a gift would probably be books that I'm just really wanting right now, which would be probably Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde, and The Amazing Adventures of Kavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon, and I'm not sure. I really am wanting those two books, so probably that. And that is all for this tag. I'm sure everybody's already done this tag, but if you haven't, then I tag you, and I'm not sure, again, who created it, but I'm sure that it'd be easy to find out. I just haven't. And so that's all for me. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.